Hi there, my little droogies.
This right here is my review of 1971 cinematic masterpiece, A Clockwork Orange. Back in 1971, upon its release, it had faced a wide range of controversy due to the graphical violence and political themes expressed through the film. Yet despite well received by audiences, it was planned for a long while, until today. Well, back in 1999 because of Stanley Kubrick's death, God rest his soul, and it has garnered a cult following ever since. So without further ado, here's my review. First of all, I think we need to look at the characters, specifically our humble narrator Alex Delarge. To start off, Alex is a 15-year-old sadistic thrill seeker in charge of the Droogs, a gang that rape and murder and drink milk. Anyway, Alex is an atypical protagonist, as there is no redeeming quality to anything that he does. He has such a giant ego, and Malcolm McDowell plays this perfectly. He has so much flair and style, even now knocking on 80 years old. And I think Stanley Kubrick saw this too, as he had hired him purely because he was the first face that he thought of when he was reading the book. I really want to meet him, just like I met Corey Feldman and Heather Langenkamp. Alex also has a certain view on the people around him, treating them like pawns in the greater scheme, even to his droogies who look up to him and even idolise him. Eventually, after being stored into Stargate 84F, he still thinks he can get away with his crimes, manipulating the preacher, the only one that supported his prison journey. But, unluckily for Alex, this puts him in the Ludovico technique. And after that point, you either sympathise with him, think of him as a victim, still absolutely hate his guts, or think he's getting what he deserves. Alright, I'm going to quickly go through the rest of my points. So, Happy Apologies. Alex practically stays the same throughout the entire film and remains to be a generally awful person. At the end, because of his treatments, he actually starts to feel, but it just ends up bringing him back to where he was after trying to commit suicide, and then getting lots of fame even though he's not really a victim.
I was cured, alright.
Even though there's no link, I find it really funny that it re-released on the year of Fight Club, another film I highly enjoy based off of a novel. The cinematography of A Clockwork Orange is unique and gorgeous kind of, resembling a Dr. Seuss illustration. Wacky and sensational, it creates a surreal and distinct atmosphere. It also builds this dystopian future and a psychedelic feeling. The visual style, symmetry, and vivid colours of each shot kind of remind me of a Wes Anderson film. Also, a wide range of camera movement can sort of be seen in the films Blade Runner and Trainspotting, and aforementioned Fight Club. By the way, I'm not saying for definite that these films kind of reflect each other. The electrical soundtrack of A Clockwork Orange also reminds me of films like The Social Network, featuring Caitlin from The Quarry, which I think is kind of sick. The soundtrack is also familiar in the film Under the Skin. Alright, this next part is going to be pretty quick, so this is the book to film adaptation that I can't say anything about because I haven't read the original novel by Anthony Burgess, but I have heard snippets from the commentary on the Blu-ray version of A Clockwork Orange. So if I have the motivation to buy and read the book, I'll probably update this video. The societal themes of A Clockwork Orange are intriguing, touching free will, power, ultraviolence, and consequences. Starting with free will, let's look at the Ludovico technique. The reason Alex signs up for the treatment is either because he just wants to get out of prison, or he has an interest to do good, which I highly doubt. And something I noticed is while signing the contract, he isn't allowed to read it. Also, he was picked at random, so does it really make any difference if it was just another prisoner like him? After the Ludovico technique, the preacher he manipulated is the only character with concerns. which leads to consequences. Alex is punished by those that he hurt in the beginning, which almost brings him to entirely kill himself. Now for the themes of power and violence. Being philosophical, if you think about it, power is often gained through violence. The government was fully for putting Alex into prison, plus hating him for betraying society. And yet, at the end, they give him fame, causing him to have power, which in the book leads to him back at the Kurova milk bar. Side note, that is one of the only things I know about the book. Unfortunately, this is the last stave of the video. Yes, a 14-year-old's review. Like, who would watch that?
God, it'll torture you to madness.
I'm going to be honest, at the first viewing of A Clockwork Orange, I didn't like it. I thought it was completely pointless, and it was only like because of how the film was made, and how controversial the sexual scenes were. However, trying to watch it again and again, and from reading reviews on Letterboxd, I realised how it works. If it managed to disturb you, which it did, then it works as a film. Now I can get by it, I can understand the comedy of the film. But that doesn't make the film perfect. Like all films, it has flaws. I understand why the camera lingers on shots, but I find myself really bored at those scenes. I was just waiting to see how the rest of the setting looked like, and it would just linger. And I get that that's the artistic thing of the film, but there's just something that is missing from those scenes. In conclusion, I love this film, so I rate it 8.9 out of 10. Not only for its interpretation of characters, but its influence on modern cinema, the themes, but especially for how highly I recommend this movie. Everyone has to watch this movie. And I think that's everything I have to say. I was cured, alright. Isn't it awesome when you finish something that has took you hours and hours? I love this video, I think it's my best video yet, and I hope you all enjoy it too. So, if you want to see more content like this, some content I actually enjoy, then like, subscribe, or share.